Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing, as the title says, a cruelty-free makeup look. I haven't actually used this one eyeshadow that I was super inspired by. It looks like another one by XO that I'll show you guys later, but let's just jump right in. So as I mentioned in my last video, I've been trying to do as much or purchase as much cruelty-free stuff as possible, but I still obviously have a lot of non-cruelty-free items in my my makeup collection. My intent is just to use them up and, you know, try to make better choices moving forward. But there are a couple things in my collection that I just haven't found a good cruelty-free dupe for. Part of it is, you know, financial. I can't super afford to buy all new high-end stuff. And I know some of the drugstore brands like Wet n Wild, they're no longer considered cruelty-free because they sell in China. In China, if you don't know, they require animal testing, so keep your eyes peeled if you're trying to have like a cruelty-free, if you're trying to go cruelty-free. China, if they sell in China, then they aren't considered cruelty-free because, like I said, they do require that testing. So all I'm doing right now is just evening out my base. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Vanilla, which is like, I mean, I'm almost to the end with that guy. It's a really nice concealer. I really like it. I have dry skin and my under eyes tend to be dry as well, and I was concerned about it being in a pot, but it's actually pretty nice. So I like to apply it with my fingers because I feel like it helps it to kind of go on a little bit more smooth. I think you need the warmth from your fingers to kind of help that product out a little bit. I also slapped on a little bit of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. So I'm gonna try, this is a little risky, a powder I haven't used before. This is the Becca, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's the one that's supposed to feel like water, like wet. So I'm gonna use a bunch of this underneath my eyes. I typically use the Hourglass Veil, but this is sitting in my collection. I figured I'd give it a shot. I need it mostly for the eyeball region and then a little bit down the center of the face. So in conjunction with this video, I'm gonna be doing a video about some of my cruelty-free favorites. I'm not sure which one's gonna go up first, so if it's already up, I'll link it down below. I'm gonna start with my face with the J.Cat Luxe Pro Powder in Pearl Luminizer, and I don't know if this has a specific shade, but it's super light. This is an unbelievable amount of product. This is a highlighter, it's a loose highlighter, which is not my preferred method of highlighter, but it is really, really beautiful. So I just put a little bit of that into the cap, and I'm taking this like stippling brush, just kind of like tapping and swirling. So I'm thinking I'll start small and build up because I know that this stuff can get really intense really quickly. So I completely neglected to mention in my last video that over quarantine we have started a podcast, my fiance and I, with a couple of our friends. It's called Tony Hasn't Seen That Movie. Because one of our friends who I've known since I was like 17, we used to work together actually. He has not seen so many popular movies. So we started this podcast where we sit down with him, we kind of ask him what he thinks about it, if he knows anything about the film, and then we all watch it together and we share some of the highlights from our listening with the audience, and it's been super fun. It's hysterical. I hope other people find it funny too. I think they do. We've gotten some decent feedback, but it's just such a trip. You know, like the first one, I think was Dumb and Dumber. I'll link the podcast down below so you guys can check it out if you want, but it's super fun. It's such a good time. It's nice to like hang out with friends and do something silly and kind of take our minds off the world. But it's been a really good time. We most recently we did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you guys haven't seen that, it's super good. And then after that, forthcoming is The Sixth Sense, which was amazing because he said he didn't remember the plot twist, but I think he might have, but the reaction was still pretty good. So this time I had a light hand with my bronzer. I still like to go over it though. And for blush, I'm actually gonna use a cream that I'm obsessed with. It's the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in the shade Werk, W-E-R-K. And how I apply this is usually I take 2 fingers like this, and then I'll start on the side, sort of just pat it. I start back a little bit more and sort of build my way forward. I feel like it looks most natural that way. Cream blush is, for some reason, pretty intimidating for people, but honestly, it's one of my favorite products in the world. It goes on so nicely, and it just looks really natural. And you can build it up. Like, you just start with a little bit, and then you can build it as you go. I'm actually gonna go in with a little bit more of that highlighter and use a denser brush. I feel like I didn't get quite enough pigmentation out of it. And for that, I'm going to use this Real Techniques brush. I think this is a setting brush, but it's the perfect size for highlighter. It's one of my favorites for pressed highlighter too. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna do a little bit in the middle here too, just to bring a little glow to the face. Like I said, I don't have a good brow pencil, but I do really like this e.l.f. Wow Brow. I usually use it to set, but today I'm just gonna use it for the brow. I watched Mariah Leonard do this trick where she sort of put it through the brow and then she backcombed on it, I think to just like fill in the pigmentation and make sure that it was all coated, your brow was all coated. And then she went back through. Next, I'm going to use this Heaps of Sweets palette by XO. I love her. If you guys don't watch her, I highly recommend. She's in New Zealand, so I'm a little jealous watching her just like kind of live her life as if Corona doesn't exist anymore, because New Zealand has nailed their response to the virus. So it sucks watching her because I'm like, oh, I just want to go to a restaurant, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna go in with, well, first of all, can we just take a moment? I mean, she is beauty, she is grace. I will definitely be using this in the future. And you know what's so funny? I noticed that the eyeshadow that I want to use, it kind of looks just like pretzel. This is a little bit more orangey, but this shade is very similar to what I'm going to use today. But yeah, this is a follow-up to her BH Cosmetics eyeshadow that I don't think you can get anymore, but it's really beautiful. I've had a lot of fun actually with the purples. I'll do a purple look at some point. But I'm just gonna take the shade Vanilla and Macaron, kind of a little bit of each. This is gonna be a little bit more undone. I don't want this look to be totally perfect. So we're just gonna kind of not be too precise, but slap this in the crease, give us a little bit of definition. I've learned that for my tiny eyes, I don't need to do a lot of eyeshadow, which kind of stinks because eyeshadow is super fun, but I don't know. It just doesn't have as much of an impact on my eyes because you can't see as much of my lid. So like I said, nothing too precise. And then I'm gonna grab this shade. It's called Tangerine Light. It's by J.Cat and it's a Blinky shimmer eyeshadow. A girlfriend of mine actually gave this to me, and this will be its maiden voyage. So let's see what we think together. Oh, I really like J.Cat products. Alexa, is J.Cat Cosmetics cruelty free?
Here's something I found on the web. According to crueltyfreekitty.com, IT Cosmetics is cruelty-free.
Okay, yes it is. That would have been really shitty if I just go through this whole video and then I was like, actually, J.Cat is not cruelty-free. Wow, wow, wow. That is stunning. I'm gonna pick it up with a brush and just kind of get in the crevices because I did a bad job with my finger. This is one of those eyeshadows where if you build it up, it just keeps getting prettier. Great problem to have. I'm also gonna grab a little bit of the shade Brownie and just pop that on the outer corner. Add a little bit of dimension. Does anyone else do this when they're doing their makeup all of a sudden you're like clutching 3 different brushes? I'm gonna finish up this eye and I'm gonna grab a little bit of Brownie and Vanilla, put it underneath my eye. Like I said, nothing too precise. I want this to feel a little grungy actually. So we'll smoke that a little bit lower than we typically would. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that tangerine color and just pop that right underneath my eye, so towards the inner part. And then I'm gonna grab a smidge of the J.Cat highlighter and put that in the inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit. So trust me, it's looking a little crazy right now, but once we add a little bit of liner and mascara, we'll be in really good shape. So I'm gonna finish this eye and I'll be right back. All right, so both eyes are done now. What I'm gonna do is just add a touch of liner. Please pray for me that I don't end up going apeshit with this stuff because you know how liner goes. You start small and then all of a sudden you have like the craziest wing of all time. But this is a Conrad eyeliner. And if you're as old as I am, you will remember that Conrad sort of like popularized the cat eye. She was the one. I have both of her books. I loved her. So anyway, this is a nice little brush tip. I give it a little shake, just kind of get it going. And then I'm gonna try to keep it as close to the lash line as possible, and I'm gonna stop talking because that'll totally screw me up. All right, I think that will do it. And I didn't bring it all the way in because my eyes are so small, I feel like it just makes them feel a little bit smaller, so. I think I did it. It's good. It's as good as it's going to get. I really like brush tip because I feel like I have a little bit more control. Felt tip can be okay. Actually, I think the House Labs one is a felt tip and I do like that one. So now I'm gonna set my face with the Dewy set by Anastasia Beverly Hills and put all my hair back. Like I said last week, I can't put my mascara on and then use this because otherwise my mascara kind of gets everywhere, so. And now looking at this look, I think I need a little bit more blush, which one of the benefits of cream, it's gonna look fine being popped over top. Just because I feel like I look a little lifeless, like I just need a little bit of extra color. I feel like my blush is the first thing to go too, so if it's a little heavy in the beginning of the day, I'm not super mad about it. Something that I really like to do, I'm sure you've noticed, is just kind of go back over things with my beauty sponge, just to make sure everything's nice and seamless. For mascara, going back in with my CoverGirl Exhibitionist in black brown, really enjoying this stuff. And I always do 2 coats. I didn't realize, one of my friends said to me one time, she mentioned how she only put 1 coat on, and I'm like, what? I put 2 coats on every day. But maybe I'm weird, I don't know. I don't know why I picked that up or what made me do that, but I always do 2 coats. I like a nice thick lash. I just realized I never zoomed you guys in, so I will zoom you so you can look at the eyes a little bit closer. I was hoping to use a red lipstick today, but I just feel like it'll be too much for me. I don't need to go crazy with my lip color today, though I do like to do that quite often. But today I'm just gonna keep it simple. I have this little baby Tarte lipstick. This is in the shade Set Sail. I have some lip balm on, so I'm just gonna wipe that a smidge. I'm gonna go in with this. It's sort of my lips but better. It's a little bit darker than my lip color. This color is kind of like that 90s lip that probably like 5 or 6 years ago was the jam. Everybody wanted it. It reminds me of, did anybody get the Jaclyn Hill Gerard Cosmetics lipstick? I think it was called 1990, or I can't even remember, and I used it so much. I love that stuff. But anyway, this is a completed look, very fall, very kind of like monochromatic. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a video with my cruelty-free favorites, so one of them will be up first. I'm not really quite sure, but leave a comment down below. Let me know if there are any cruelty-free makeup items that I absolutely need in my life. I'm happy to make the purchase, and I'll see you guys very soon. All right, bye.